Welcome to Personal Injury Claims Explained by Foyle Legal, your trusted source for personal injury claims in Western Australia. Each week, we simplify complex legal issues, from motor vehicle accidents to workplace injuries, so you can confidently navigate your rights and secure the compensation you deserve.
Ever get that feeling? Like you're scrolling through used cars online, maybe about to hit buy now, and then you think, hold on a sec, is this thing even safe?
Yeah. That's a good feeling to lean into.
Definitely. So today we are diving deep into the wild world of car safety ratings. What actually matters when you're picking a car to keep you safe on the road. We've got an awesome article from Foyle Legal. They're a law firm, top-rated over in Perth, Australia.
Right, yeah.
And they did a deep dive on this, pulling from sources like ANTCAP-B, that's the Australasian New Car Assessment Program,
Okay.
and MURC, the Monash University Accident Research Center.
Gotcha. So the heavy hitters in car safety.
Yeah, the big leagues down there. And they talk about this really interesting designation, the safer pick, from the used car safety ratings, the UCSR. Familiar with this at all?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So this isn't just your how many stars on the little sticker.
Right.
This is them actually looking at millions of real-world crashes, police reports,
Wow.
to tell you if a used car is actually safe. And get this, drivers of the worst scoring vehicles 8 times more likely to be seriously injured or killed compared to the best scoring vehicles.
8 times.
8 times.
Yeah, that's not a number to ignore.
No. Makes you think twice about that too good to be true deal.
Definitely makes you think. Safety first.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What I thought was really interesting is that the UCSR, they don't just look at how the car protects you, the driver,
Right.
but how likely that car is to cause damage to somebody else
Oh, wow.
if you get into a crash.
That's a really good point.
So you're not just thinking about yourself, you're thinking about everyone else on the road.
Yeah, absolutely. Being a responsible driver and all that.
Totally. And they're factoring in everything, the size of the vehicle, the weight, how it's designed, the safety features, to give this comprehensive score.
Okay.
And they look at all kinds of cars,
Hmm.
sedans, hatchbacks, SUVs, minivans,
Sure.
even coupes.
Nice.
Now, I'm sure some people are out there thinking, well, the bigger the car, obviously the safer,
Yeah, you would think so, right?
right? Big, bulky car equals safe. But it's not always that simple, is it?
No, not always. A smaller car, for example, might be able to maneuver out of the way, avoid a crash altogether. That's a factor too.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's not just about being nimble. Think about it. You could have a super lightweight sports car, right?
Mm.
But it's got all this advanced tech packed in.
Okay, yeah.
Might actually do better than a big old SUV in a crash test.
You're totally right. It really depends on how they design them for those specific situations.
And speaking of design, one thing that jumped out at me from the article was how much they emphasized the car's structure,
Yeah.
especially in rear-end collisions.
Yeah.
You know, when you're driving and suddenly you see brake lights.
Oh, yeah. Heart skipping a beat.
And it's that moment of, oh no.
Yeah.
And the article goes deeper past the whole bigger bumper equals safer. It's really about how the car is designed.
Right.
Because that could be the difference between a little fender bender and a really serious injury.
Especially with whiplash. That can be a real concern.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's like that saying, right? It's not the speed that kills you, it's the sudden stop.
Exactly.
And that's where this whole crumple zone thing comes in.
Crumple zones. Sounds kind of scary, like something you'd find on like a roller coaster, not my car.
Yeah, kind of. In a way, it's similar. So they're designed to, in a crash, sort of deform,
Okay.
but in a controlled way,
Right.
to absorb and distribute the force of the impact.
So it's like a cushion, basically, for your car.
Yeah. So a car with really well-designed crumple zones, it'll actually help to slow down how fast the passenger compartment decelerates.
Oh, interesting.
So there's less force to your body.
So instead of our bodies like taking on all that energy of the crash,
Yeah,
the car's taking it for us, hopefully.
exactly. It's absorbing it.
Smart.
And so going back to those rear-end collisions, you want a really strong rear structure in the car.
Okay.
So that means a strong rear frame, sturdy pillars.
Yeah.
You want that barrier between you and whatever's behind you.
That makes sense. So it's not just, like we were saying, just about having a big old bumper back there.
No, not just the bumper. I mean, that plays a role.
Yeah.
But it's more about the whole crumple zone design in the rear, the strength of those pillars,
Right.
even just the materials they use in the car's body.
Wow.
It all works together.
To protect you.
Yeah, to protect the people inside.
Yeah.
They even talk about the headrest design being super important for minimizing whiplash, which I don't think about that often.
It's like you don't realize how much thought goes into that.
It's incredible, the engineering that goes into like a headrest.
It's true, yeah.
It's not just for comfort. It's really there to support your head and neck if there's a sudden stop.
Exactly, yeah. And of course, all those active safety features like the automatic emergency braking can help too.
Yes. The AEB, our little co-pilot in the car, looking out for us. But when we're talking rear-end collisions, how effective is that? Really?
Well, think about it this way. You're stuck in traffic, which we all are sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Stop and go. And you're a little distracted, let's be honest.
It happens.
And all of a sudden, the car in front slams on the brakes.
The worst.
But AEB, it can detect that potential collision happening and actually hit the brakes for you.
Nice.
In many cases, it can really reduce how bad the impact is, or even prevent the crash altogether.
Wow. So it's really like a second set of eyes and reflexes.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And, on top of all that, we have to think about the inside of the car too, like
Right.
the actual interior design. That plays a big role in keeping passengers safe in a rear-end crash.
Yeah, it's all connected. But with all this focus on car design, the safety features, we can't forget the most important safety feature.
And that is?
The driver. Yeah, all the fancy tech in the world doesn't make up for, somebody driving like they're in an action movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's true. And that's why, you got to think about choosing a car that gives you the best chance.
Right.
Even if, and sometimes especially if, the crash isn't your fault. You want to be prepared.
Yeah, you want to be in the safest possible situation.
Exactly.
And this article, I think, does such a good job of laying it all out.
Right. It really does.
All those details. It's like a crash course in car safety.
Yeah. I like that.
Pun intended.
It's true. And it's something you really ought to know, I think, especially when you're actually shopping for a car.
Yeah.
Safety's got to be up there. It can't be an afterthought.
No, it shouldn't be. We covered a lot, I think, from those safety ratings.
Yeah.
To all the crazy tech they're putting in cars now.
It's impressive.
But it really does come down to, making those smart choices to be as safe as you can out there.
Absolutely. And realizing too that it's not just about you, right? It's your passengers. It's other drivers.
It's everyone.
Everyone on the road.
Well said. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody, for this deep dive on car safety. Hopefully you're walking away feeling a bit more empowered.
That's right.
Maybe a little obsessed with crumple zones now.
A little bit, yeah.
It happens.
It's always good to learn something.
It is. Until next time, drive safe, everybody.
And stay curious.
Thanks for tuning in to Personal Injury Claims explained by Foyle Legal. Remember, this podcast is for informational purposes and isn't legal advice. For advice specific to your situation, visit us at Foyle Legal. And don't forget to subscribe or leave a review.